once you understand the final destination, it becomes much easier to look back and identify the psychological conditioning, the biological tampering, the cultural grooming, and the educational prepping that we have been subjected to for decades in preparation to making us accept a post-human future. They first needed to destabilize, dehumanize, and demoralize humanity through every means possible. The destruction of the nuclear family, children being indoctrinated by the state, abortion, the eradication of God and spirituality from education, life in megacities and away from nature, toxic food, air, and water, social media replacing real human connection and interaction, engineered financial crisis and taxation, endless wars and massive migration, stress, anxiety, depression, drugs and alcohol, constant fear-mongering, moral relativism as the new religion, how humanity has been influenced and forced to move away from all the things that give us strength, security, purpose, and meaning. Masculinity is under attack psychologically, culturally, and biologically. Women are being replaced in sports, entertainment, and politics by men pretending to be women. And children are being indoctrinated at school to think that gender is a choice.
Like, she makes a lot of points in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Short.
in a short amount. It's like too
Nailed
much.
it.
But yeah, pretty much sums up what's wrong with society at the moment.
It's exactly what's been going on for, like she said, decades, eons. This has been a long-term master plan chess game of strategy. It's been a strategy. And if you're not aware of the game, you've been, being born into this, of course, your mind, especially in childhood or at a young age, is so malleable. You just go with the flow. It takes us way longer. It takes us our 30s, 40s in life to realize, wait. come back to ourselves, because we're like, wait, this game isn't working for us. Why can't we thrive? Why can't we become billionaire, trillionaires? Why is the system not working for the little guy? And it's not meant to. Right? It's not meant to. I heard the same. I watched a video over the weekend. It's like, who suffers? It's the middle class. The middle class gets the tickets, right? We have to drive perfect, or we get the tickets. If we don't pay the tickets, they're going to come for our house. They're going to bill us more. We're going to go to jail. It's the middle class that has all these fears, right? But just enough luxuries to live comfortably. If you give a bum a ticket on the street, he's not going to give a shit. He's got nothing to lose. And then the millionaires, you give them a ticket, it doesn't matter. They have lawyers that get it taken care of. They don't even have to pay it. So what do? They push everyone into this middle class. They push everyone there, and they want to keep you right there, and they don't want you to thrive. But if you go too low, they try to pretend to help you up a little. It's just built and structured with so much manipulation.
Yeah, and it's so, gosh, I feel like I'm gonna go on a rant again in this episode.
Let's do it.
You know what? I feel like I am like this. I don't know about maybe this podcast. I don't want to speak for you, but certainly what I'm starting to put together for Bridging Consciousness, it's more of this social uproar. I feel like it's like, okay, I've been teaching people how to connect to their higher selves, how to connect to their intuition, to like leave the noise outside of themselves and just reconnect what feels true, what feels right. But now it's kind of like we have to use these tools and get going. So it's like no more time to be idle, to be like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can trust them. No. That's finished. We're done with that. It's time to move on. It's time to step up. And it's like, it's more of this, it has more of this social component, of the social justice component than ever. I feel like it's really necessary. And I feel like a lot of the times our conversations go there too, because what's the use of being these multidimensional selves and to have all this knowledge if we're not applying it to better our lives and society in general? Now we're there's a huge fight that has to be put, to fight this system. But I feel like piece by piece, little by little, people are doing that. And like you said, it's more than ever, people are waking up to the reality of just how messed up this whole system is. And that is just so, it's like infuriating, and it drives you, right? You cannot
Yeah.
watch this and know this and
Yeah.
not do anything about it. You can't just stand by and keep poisoning
Absolutely.
yourself with terrible food and you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
can't do this anymore.
Yeah. You can't.
So I feel like part of this energy that we're putting into the podcast is to help people with that, to help people with their
Mhm.
awakening, to let them know you're not crazy. It's not
Yeah.
some sort of conspiracy theory. It's just like at this point, just it's out there. And
Yeah.
that's where we're
This
going.
is, yeah. It's like, this is the truth. We're shining light on the truth, but we're also letting you know that we see it too. There are people that are moving beyond, that are able to get out of this matrix reality that was, created by society or whatever. Um, so yeah, to be that beacon of light, to be like, there are people out there that you can combine efforts with, connect with, to help get out of that, I want to say, like, sea of drowning consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're in the battle for souls here. We're in the battle for, it's like I've mentioned before, psychic warfare. It's the battle of the mind. And it's really about freeing the minds. And then that frees them, because then once their mind is free, once they can see beyond the veil, once they can see what's really truly happening, you can't lie to yourself anymore. You understand that it's
Mm-hmm.
rigged, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, it's almost inevitable then that you walk away from the false reality. But it's getting people to really, open their eyes. And I think that's what, like you said, that's what's happening, and that's what we're doing. We're on that forefront of bringing awareness to what's been hidden, and illuminating the truth.
And giving tools to people also. I feel like oftentimes we speak about,
Yes.
okay, here's how you get through this, or here's a
Mhm.
tip for this or that. So I feel like it's sort of giving you the tools. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like we might have seen it a little sooner, and we know the methods and techniques to move through this, like, because it is very esoteric too.
Yeah.
It's a very spiritual awakening that's happening globally and with mass consciousness. And there are different tools necessary. It's kind of like going back to the ancient ways. It's going back to the old ways. It's going back to our true nature, and it's getting in alignment with that spiritual. And that's all coming back. But when we've been conditioned to live externally, to be distracted externally, to focus on the external and the instant rewards and the false and the illusions, it's really hard to regain your mind, refocus, and go inward. And so that's what's necessary, I think, right now,
Mm-hmm.
is people taking that step back and learning to go inward
Yes.
with methods.
To reclaim their power also. Just to illustrate this, to give an easy example, I think that everybody can understand. And it doesn't have to be drastic too, right? It's not like tomorrow I'm pulling out all my money out of the bank and I'm sort of going to live in a field. It doesn't have to be that drastic, okay? I was earlier today, I was doing my grocery shopping, and everything, so my perspective just shifted. It was like I was in there and I was just seeing the percentage of the food that's actually poison in there. That is
Yes.
terrible for you. And
Yeah.
most
What
of the
is
aisles
created?
are bad. Yes, all
Yeah.
these ultra processed foods. Basically,
Yep.
almost everything in the frozen section, apart from vegetables and
Yep.
fruit. It's like, it was just crazy. So,
Mm-hmm.
little by little, I've started making more of my own things. But I mean, I still buy like bread at the grocery store or whatever, some of it, but
Yeah.
it's like just being conscious of, oh, okay, if I go down that aisle, I know there's nothing good for me there. So why would I
Yeah.
go there?
Yeah.
Snacks and fruits and crackers and cookies and all these prepackaged things that are filled with additives and preservatives and just bad
Yeah.
for you. So
It's not even food. We've taught our bodies to process and eat a product,
mhm,
a piece of paper. You know, like we're literally, and then we wonder
Yeah.
why we have illness and disease and all this in society. It's because our bodies can't take this crap. It's not meant to take this crap. But yet we think it's normal. Everyone else is doing it. We see commercials. It's like,
mhm,
oh, okay, this is food. No, it's not food. We've been literally manipulated
mhm.
to even believe food is not food in mainstream society. Like,
Yeah.
it's insane what we will believe when we are just, everyone else is doing it.
Mhm.
You know?
And
And we are
instant.
influenced as a kid. You know, we are,
Yeah.
they get us when our minds are fresh.
Yeah, and listen, like I was raised on pizza pockets and Pop-Tarts. Like that was my food. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like this was easy. It's also this, it's instant gratification
Mhm.
and it's convenience, right? So we've it's just it's so it's so obvious when you see
Yeah.
it, right? In retrospect, you're like, okay, you get people to work an insane amount of hours for little pay. They get
Mhm.
home, they're too tired, they have no time to feed their kids proper meals, homemade meals. They're just gonna microwave a pizza pocket. I'm not saying I
Mhm.
ate this every day, but you know, it was
No.
recurrent in my lunchbox, let's just say.
Yeah.
And so it's like you just you put that in the microwave, here, feed the kid. All right. They got their food for today. God bless, you know. And kids go to school all day long and extra long because the parents have to work double shifts and etc.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, we made you work more than you should, deplete your
Yeah.
energy. You feed your kids and
Mhm.
yourself poison food, immune system
Mhm.
goes down, you guys get
Yep.
sick, and your
Yep.
lifespan is diminished,
Shorter.
way
Yeah,
shorter.
exactly.
And thank you for
You're
paying your
working
taxes.
harder.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's
you're
it,
working
right?
harder just to stay alive. Well, why are we just surviving? I mean, who built it that way anyways?
I
Doesn't
know.
that
It's not,
trigger a question?
yeah. And it's like, oh, then all the parents want their kids to do better in life. So they're like, well, you should go get a university degree because,
Yeah,
you know, I didn't get that. And so you should have a fair chance in life. So go to university, work like crazy, pay. I know in the States, you pay insane amount of money to go to university, to college.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, get out of college and now you have to pay all this debt. Now you have to get
Yeah,
a
now
good
you're
job.
already,
Now
yeah,
you're
you're
working
already
80 hours a
behind.
week.
You're already in debt. Yes, it's just a beautiful program, right? Got it. The powers that be have it totally figured out.
So, you know what I mean? It's just, it's so obvious. And it's all this fake hope of, you know, oh, maybe
Mhm.
just if I go to college, I'll have a great life. And, you know, it's
Yeah,
just, it's all fake. It's all kind of, it's all
yeah.
bullshit. And like you said, I feel like there's this movement right now of just going back to more traditional ways, more like, okay, let's slow down a little bit. Maybe let me
Yeah,
take my time to make my own little, you know, for those that have the
yeah,
privilege to do that, because most people still have to work at least one or two jobs to meet, you
yeah.
know, have ends meet and just feed their kids that crap that's at the grocery store. Because organic food, never mind in Canada, it's super expensive. And
Mhm.
so that's it. That's what you have to do. And now we're killing you slowly but surely.
Yeah,
We're
slowly
taking
but
your
surely.
money. And that's pretty much it. That's sums up
Yeah,
life. Good.
yep.
Cheers, you
And
know?
none of that, yeah, cheers. So none of that you can take with you when you die, none of it.
None
So
of
what
it.
did you really do while you were here? You have to reassess your priorities. And when it really comes down to it, I feel it all revolves around love. What do you love? The people you love, the the joys, the little things ultimately. And it's usually the people that are doing those things regardless
Mm.
of society that do end up thriving or getting out of this, right? Because that's when we create a higher frequency within our vibration. That's when our energy shifts. That's when our aura bodies, it's all that. So we really should prioritize our joys and our passions and our love and our excitement for life. And again, that's hard to do when we're distracted on the external. And that's how they get us to lower our vibration and stay, the sheep.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And a big part of that is just tuning in. It's just like it's going in where, like you say, but it's tuning in every single moment. I feel like now we're really challenged to bring mindfulness, not even on the yoga mat. I'm talking about
Yeah.
constant. All right, so do
Yes.
I need to eat this thing now? Will this serve me? Do I need to buy this item? Do I actually really need it? Or it's like, it's going to make me
Yeah.
feel good for 5 seconds. So it's just bringing awareness and mindfulness to every single decision. I feel like it's more
Yes.
important than ever. And when you
Yeah.
when you really stop and you look around your house, and I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I'm like, oh, look at all this crap that I don't actually need. Look at how many, you know, I don't know, just like different toys that never get played with
Yeah.
anymore, just like things that you thought that you needed because
Yeah.
everybody did the same, because it looked cool, because it gave you that gratification on the outside.
Right.
Your ego was
Yeah.
very happy with getting that
Yes.
thing, right?
It was the ego gratification, the external. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's unplugging from that. It's very hard to do, but that's why I said it doesn't have to be drastic. It's not like I'm selling all
Mm-mm.
my stuff. It's more like, oh, okay, next time I'm at the store, I'm actually going to ask myself if I need this or not. And to be honest, it's been like kind of hard. It's been a process of, oh, like I really want this, but I know I don't need it. So it's like kind of
Yeah.
like an internal war. And I'm like, no. So I told myself every time I want something that will bring me instant gratification and I don't, it's like my soul wins over my ego. Now I'm just doing this game inside my
Yeah.
mind. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I want to slack late at night. Is this my ego wants? If that's what he wants or she wants, whatever, I'm not giving it. I'm
Don't
not
feed
playing
it.
this game. But it's
Yeah.
like I have to find ways, kind of like a kid, to motivate myself because
Yeah.
otherwise it's hard after all these years, to live
Yeah.
so differently.
Yeah. We've been conditioned to slowly sell our souls, right? And to feed the ego. And we've built a society that has worshipped the ego and worshipped the ego in others. And we have been conditioned to be consumers, right? So it's like we think that this is normal, and it's almost like an autonomic
Mhm.
programming that we're just like consume. What, I have money, what can I buy? Like instantly already trying to spend it before we even have it. We're thinking of the next thing we want. But you're right. It's all about being mindful in every moment and every decision, because in that every decision, you are either choosing self-love or that instant gratification. And you're feeding your soul or you're starving your soul, and it's like, I feel like choosing the healthier foods that serve your body, that nourish your body, that strengthen your mind, that's self-love. And people think, oh God, self-love is so hard. I don't know how to I don't know how to love myself. It is the little things that become the habits. Then you start to give yourself love all the time by nourishing who you are and what you are. And then those habits become you embodying that lifestyle in your life. And then that becomes you, right? So it's all the little decisions that you can adjust over long periods of time, then just become who you are, and then that's the goal. And then you get to a point where you're not disserving yourself any time. And then that creates a healthy boundary between you and others, because you will no longer sacrifice for things that do not serve you. And then you are strong, then you are whole, then you are, you know what I'm saying? And you can align with your higher self because you are choosing to do so in every moment. It's funny because that's kind of like one of our Reiki philosophies. And I of course we hear it all the time, but until you actually live it and you understand it, that how it really works, it's like, just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will, live in love. Just for today. If you can just even fool your mind, right? Just say, you know what? Stop living in the future. Stop living in the past. Just live in the present. Just live today. Make the decisions on what you have to do today, what will serve the highest good, what will not, just be it little by little, then that becomes your way of life. And it's not so hard. It just seems hard when you put all the weight of all the world on your shoulders from the past, present, future, everything, and you have to do it now, now, now. That's the ego's voice. The ego wants to put that pressure on you. That's not your soul. Your soul has all the time in the world. Your soul is eternal. Your soul never puts the deadlines on you. So the ego wants to fear you into not staying present. You don't have to worry about anything but that decision in the moment that's right in front of you.
That's well said. Yeah. And I think there's also, you don't have to give all your energy to that sort of video. Like, it's good that you're aware of the things, but you don't have to live, and please don't live in fear.
Yeah. Don't
You-
go full spectrum the other side.
Right, right. So it's also just a fine balance, but I think it's like you said, it's just on a personal level, just for today. What can I do? And what I'm doing, which part of me does it feed? So I would like to bring a little bit more attention to this idea of the self, if you want. It's sort of they might not see the difference between their true self or their ego self. How would you explain this difference, or what is the true self to you?
Yeah, this is really hard, especially on the beginning of your journey, because when you're battling your own conditioning, you have literally been programmed to self-sabotage. So a lot of the things that we think are us are actually not us. And I was lucky to have been given this. It's called the free will exercise. It gives you an idea of when you have a choice and you make a choice, kind of, does it serve you or not? It kind of helps you discover, well, are you doing that out of conditioning, out of habit? Or is that truly who you are? So for instance, a small example would be like, I don't know, Alex, what's something that you hate? Or maybe you're so aware now, you don't even.
No, but can we use that example of just like,
Yeah.
it's late at night, I feel like eating a snack.
Okay, so the free will exercise would then be, okay, I really feel like eating a snack before bed every single night. Now, was that conditioned in you? Is it a bad habit that you've picked up? Or do you just really like it, you love it? So the free will exercise would be, okay, then don't do it for a day, 2 days, 3 days, and then see how you feel. And then see if you're feeling better by not doing it, or then go ahead and go back to doing it and then see how you feel and see if it really serves. And if you're just like, wow, you know what? I didn't really need a snack late at night. What I really, really wanted to do was create something. I felt like I feel more energized at night, and I just needed to do. But we get in a habit of when we're bored, we're not doing something, we eat, something like that. You'll start to assess the reasons why you're making these choices. Another like simple example is like, oh, I hate wearing hats, right? I hate wearing hats. My father didn't wear a hat. My mother didn't wear a hat. My grandparents never wore a hat. Hats are for hippies, right? It's like, you even hear the different voice where it's very judgmental. You're like, wait a minute, do you really not like wearing a hat? Or is that something that you're just upbringed with? This is really good to question these beliefs, because it's like, and really, what is even the importance of it, right? What does it even matter if we wear a hat or not? But little things like this to just figure out who you really are, and then start to do that with the bigger things in life. Say you wear a hat. Now you have free will exercise. Free will means you're going to do it even if you hate it, right? It's breaking past those fears, and it's breaking past your norm or your comfort zone or your box. So doing something that you think you hate and really finding out how you feel about it. Say you wore a hat all day, you got tons of compliments. It actually looked really good on your face structure. And by the end of the day, you're like, wow, wearing hats aren't so bad. But you hated it. It boiled your blood, right? And now you kind of can look around and say, you know, I'm not going to judge other people who wear hats as much, or I'm not even going to worry about it anymore. Like, it's not even a thing. I'll wear it if I want to wear it. So it no longer controls you. That aspect of that triggering that was there before no longer controls, because you've freed yourself from that limiting belief. That's a minor scale of how you can work with the free will exercise. But when you start to work with it with bigger things, you can really start to pull yourself out of what was the condition to you by questioning every brick that built your foundation, right? I'm not saying tear down the structure of your being, but if you can go within and start to just check every brick and use a free will exercise, every method, every belief you have, and really start to pull like that, you can then replace those with ones that do serve you. And then you can create like a whole new being. And this being is closer and more aligned to your higher self.
It's really just about then finding your true personality, because everything that happens in life, it's sort of just, like you say, it's like bricks, just forming your personality. But who knows how many of these actually belong to you, or how many are good for you.
Someone else stuck a brick in there. And that's another thing too with the free will exercise. You play with it because it's meant to kind of trigger you. It's meant for you to face your fears or face things that you've been conditioned. And you might actually be doing things that are self-sabotaging you, and you don't know it because society says it's right or it's good. You know, like you are actually going against a lot of things. And the whole point of this is to get you uncomfortable, to get you in the place where you are stepping outside of your comfort zone and getting comfortable with something that may not be bad, but things that you viewed as bad that kept you in a prison of your mind. I want to say that doing this might be triggering. This might be bringing things up to the surface. You might have a lot of emotions that, that come through because, again, you're tearing down your world. And you come on this other side, it might have you questioning like, whoa, wow, now I don't know what is reality, because you're really stretching. But that's good. That helps you, again, get out of that, what is not you, and what's been keeping you in that box, in that prison. We're all meant to be free. And part of freeing ourselves slowly is, kind of facing what we think are our fears. But we've been taught to be so afraid, right, of everything that we don't question anything. And then that's how we get kept in this lower frequency. It's by fear. So it's really just fear is the strongest man-made illusion. It really is. What are we really truly afraid of?
They have sort of built this society to be just comfortable enough for you to stay just the way it is now and not question it too much. So it's like you say, it's just like, just get outside of this comfort zone, just start questioning your own beliefs, and slowly but surely you're going to enlarge this, zone of comfort. And I
the
think
world is so much bigger.
Yeah. And that's probably where you will find yourself, like you said, just in this expansion. Because just staying put with your beliefs and your conditionings, you're not leading, maybe. I'm not saying for sure, but you might not be leading the most authentic life.
Most of the people that are like stuck in that box are just leading the lives that they've been told to lead. And they're really just puppets. Society has people enforcing society. They have media enforcing the conditioning, enforcing the fears. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even people that are not awake, it's like people that are not out of the matrix are enforcing the matrix because they want to keep that reality alive, because that's the reality that they feel safe and they've built around their whole existence. When little do they know that they're keeping themselves in a mental prison and don't understand why they're sick and unhealthy and unhappy and depressed. And then taking all these pharmaceutical products that say it's going to fix it, but give them 10 times more symptoms. But, so it's like, well, if you're afraid of dying, then you've got to take this pill, but this pill is actually going to kill you slowly,
Yeah.
but it's like, so the whole system enforces itself and each other and little baby steps, baby steps.
Yeah, that I wanted to say when you were talking about the free will exercise, I wanted to say, please don't do all of it at the same time. It will be overwhelming.
No, yeah.
Just as things come up, right? Question them and do that exercise. It's a lot of fun. Like, how did we get here? Just, I'm fascinated with, like, just how did we get here? How did we get to this society that's feeding itself and it's just making everybody sick and depressed? And just how did we get in this state that we are today? What's your take on that? I know you
Yeah.
don't have 100% the
That's-
answer, but like when
I
did
have
we start?
100% the answer, but we're not going to dive into it all today. So, well, in short, it wasn't always like this, but there are, I mean, to really answer your question, honestly, I feel like there's a lot of different entities on the planet, and when I say entities, I'm talking about kind of a soul level or higher dimensional entity. We all come in these bodies. So you've got light workers that are mostly star seeds, or you've got, angels, incarnate. We hear of all these different types of beings. Well, just like there are good souls in the universe, there are also like kind of lower level entities or destructive or parasitical entities, that haven't grown up as much. It's not that they're bad, they're just at a different level of awareness. We've incarnated in the same planet, right? The same earth. And it's all about power. The right people with power will encourage humanity, will strengthen humanity, give and breed to stronger societies. But with the wrong people in power or entities in power, they don't know how to nourish others because they don't know how to nourish themselves. And they still go about things from a very low level perspective of having to create the dollar or a physical material energy signature to like build a societal structure of then control. And then they've got a lot of money, but that's not enough. They've got to have more and more. So they're feeding an empty soul. So these powers these entities have been in power for a long time. And it's been a long, masterful game of, okay, well, first of all, how do we get them to come to not know who they are and what their power is? Because we can't control them if they know who they are. So first of all, let's burn the Library of Alexandria. Let's get rid of the histories from beyond. Let's get rid of the teachings, the ancient ways, and how to connect to the spirit, right? So first level, destruction. Second level was then confusion, right? So, okay, let's confuse the masculine, feminine. Let's disrupt the natural way, because when they're together or when they're within union with themselves, they're going to know who they are. So now let's start to make these constructs and confuse again the sacred masculine and sacred feminine. Now they've got the sacred feminine suppressed, totally wiped out spirituality and the ways of the herbal medicine, the real spiritual celebrations and connections, and they made it into witchcraft or what again? Fear. They want you to fear. So right now they're enforcing fear. Well, it's scary. It's bad. They're actually manipulating what it even was and saying it was this and that and that. And so again, now they've gotten rid of history. They can rewrite history, and they've suppressed the feminine. So now then they've created an unhealthy masculine where now it's based on domination. So now they've got the feminine in the victim state, because now we can't even be who we are or we'll be killed. Now they've distorted the masculine, because now it's all about domination and power in an unhealthy way, not holding the sacred container, not giving order and structure in a good way, but giving almost from an unhealthy point of view. And then that didn't work either. So now this has been what we call the dark ages. And, we've grown in society as far as like technology and stuff. But I think that we are coming back full circle to realizing, okay, the distorted feminine doesn't work, the distorted masculine doesn't work, and now the feminine and masculine are coming together in this new age of, we know what's not healthy, now let's go back to the past, let's go back to the ancient ways, let's go back and come back into union. And that's where we're hitting the mass awakening right now, is because a lot of us coming in are the people that remember, are the light workers, are the star seeds, you know, coming back into incarnation. And like, wait, we remember when this was, when this was true, and when this was real, and we want to bring that back. And we need to break down the society structures that have been built on the false powers and destruction and manipulation. But it's been, like I said, a long game, because they knew that it wasn't going to be instantly we were going to be prisoners. We've been slaves since the beginning of history almost. We're just getting more comfortable with our slavery because we don't think we're slaves. They've just gotten better at masking it and creating a society that now encourages, again, that self-sabotage. And it takes a long time for us to realize, well, we've been slaves all along. We still are. But now I think people are waking up to like getting out of the game. It's just a game. And that's how it was set up. But it's taken a long time to set it up. But the thing is, there's more of us than there are of them. And it's just about us waking up and being done playing this game. Again, stepping out of our box, out of the prison, out of our comfort zones, reconnecting and aligning with who we truly are. And the truth will set you free. You'll see beyond the veil, and you'll know all of this is false, and you won't live in the illusionary matrix anymore.
Amen. You've
Amen.
resonated.
That's where we come, right? This is what we're here for. So how did we get here? That's how. The wrong people came into power. That's how. The wrong entities. And of course, it's like they know who they are. They know who they know. So they've gotten reinforcements on their sides, and they've just built bigger, larger corporations, or larger, whatever, blah, 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 of that. But the people that are like, you know, it's time for justice and truth and liberty and freedom and love, those are the true things to come back. And we're all kind of standing up. We're all awakening. All the lights and candles are popping on.
Yeah.
I hope, inshallah.
Yes, that's beautifully said. Thank you.